In this battle I'll make some small changes to how I usually comment the battles. I'll give some background to why I chose the faction I did, what the thought is with the build, and what the plan is on how to engage the enemy. So I'm going to give a sort of a strategy and tactics overview to try to give a bit more background, so it's just not two armies going up against each other here. So I picked Aravachi, my opponent countered with Rome, and I wanted to go skirmish heavy, so I have 5 slingers, 4 of them elite, 1 of them crap. I have 3 mercenary Iberian swords for javelin support. They're not mercenary, they're just Iberian swords, because this is an Iberian tribe. I have played too much Carthage. Then I have 5 Scutari, 1 painted one, 2 Scutari spears, 3 mercenary, and there we go again, 3 Celtiberian cavalry, and 1 noble general. And my opponent has 2 armored legionaries, he has 4 evocati, 4 hastati, some vigiles, 3 Syrian archers, and some legionary cavalry. Now this map is kind of funky. There's this hill right here, and there's this hill over there. I'll just go over how I deployed my troops first. I deployed my swords up front, backed up by the 2 spears. Note that I have Scutari and painted warriors in the center next to my noble fighter general. The reason why I have my painted warriors next to my noble fighter general is because this unit is going to win its combat in a devastating fashion, and the fair effect from this unit should enable my general to break the unit he's fighting faster, and the same should go for the units next to them. So hopefully that works. I have protected my skirmishers here by putting my cavalry behind them, putting my Iberian swords in front of the cavalry, but I still need to be careful because cavalry can smash through here, especially Socii Equites Extraordinari. So I went over my opponent's build. He's going to push up here towards me. He started off on this hill over here, so he's going to push up. And another change I'll make is that I'm taking away this the minimap and the unit information, so there's more battle on the screen basically. But still, some of you thought it was confusing without having the flags up to see which units are routing and so on. So I'll just keep the flags up here. I'm rushing my skirmishers up to getting range of his legionary cavalry, but the way skirmishers work, they need to be more than in range to start firing. As you can see, they need to stop and then they need to start firing, so somebody should teach these Iberian slingers to keep their ammo a bit closer. I am getting fired upon by these auxiliary Syrian archers, and they have chevrons, so I don't think that increases their rate of fire. Well, actually it does, by 1, so that might be worth it actually, because it increases their rate of fire, so they'll be able to shoot more arrows basically per minute, which can be very useful, especially against slingers because they have a high rate of fire already. But I have the skirmishing advantage here. The thing is that I'm going to need to keep my skirmishers alive for as long as possible, because there is a lot of Roman infantry to kill here, and the infantry advantage is decisively in my opponent's favor. He has 4 hastati, he has 4 evocati, he has 2 armored legionaries, so that means that my opponent has 9 swords, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 10 swords, but 3 of them are Iberian swords, so they don't really count. They aren't able to stand up to these guys here in melee. So spear-wise, we're fairly equally matched. He has auxiliary infantry. Cavalry-wise, I should have a slight edge against his legionary cavalry with my Celtiberian cavalry. So the outcome of this battle is going to depend, of course, on how well we use the units and the terrain. So you can see his archers are kind of hidden behind this hill here. I don't know how that affects their line of sight or their ability to fire, but I'm going to move up slowly. Move my infantry up to support my slingers and not let my slingers get caught alone far over here. So very methodical, and sometimes you can see this happening if 2 armies are fairly equally matched, at least in skirmishing. You'll see the skirmishers just stand and duke it out, and that can be pretty cool. So I'm just approaching range. My opponent does a pretty smart thing here and pushing up his legionary cavalry, and I don't actually see it because my attention is elsewhere, so I don't actually see this legionary cavalry. You can see I don't have any attack orders on any units towards it, and that's potentially going to be very dangerous. So when the skirmish starts, these guys are going to move forward to focus fire, and then they're going to get smashed by legionary cavalry. But since I had my infantry in close support, I'm going to be able to stop him from moving down the line and destroying my skirmishers. It's going to kill the unit of legionary cavalry. While I didn't quite lose this unit, it was pretty devastated. So it's going to try to continue down the line, but in this case that was a mistake, because that's going to run him into range of all of these missiles. So that's a way I like to protect my units from cavalry. Just have the infantry close enough that they can fire at will. But still, this messed up my skirmishing line pretty bad, so nice sacrifice there by my opponent. It evened things out a bit more. Well, you can see he's still losing Syrian archers. And we'll just put up the unit information here. So these guys are getting nice kills. These guys are also killing some of my guys. 29 kills, so that's pretty massive. And that's on Balearic Slingers. So my Balearic Slingers are not doing as well as they would if they had been able to start firing earlier, of course. And this unit hasn't killed a single guy yet, so let's see if there's some shenanigans going on with the terrain. Because sometimes there is. No, it looks like they just started firing late and now they're getting kills. So we're going to have a nice extended skirmish phase here. He popped Presence. It's going to increase the recharge rate of his units, but it missed the Syrian archers. So too bad for him, good for me. So I'm losing this skirmish fight that I basically never should have lost if the enemy cavalry hadn't intervened. So pretty good move on my opponent's part there, sacrificing cavalry for basically trading cavalry for skirmishing advantage. Because maybe he thought that his infantry is strong enough, so he just needs to take out as many of my skirmishers as he can to reduce some of my skirmishing capabilities. So we'll see if that was worth it in the end. So these Syrian archers are moving forward, a slight mistake there, because that means I'll be able to fire at them while they are not returning fire and take down more of them. So he's had enough of this skirmishing, he's going to move up. I'm going to withdraw because I'm not under heavy fire here. If I was under heavy fire I probably wouldn't have withdrawn that early. But his setup is pretty terrible for me, because I need to get my charges in, and he can blunt the charges with the Hastati and then grind it out with these heavily armored elite units that have beastly melee attack stats. So they should be able to tear through my infantry after I have killed his Hastati. So I definitely have a problem there. I'm going to continue to fire at his, pour some shots into his Evocati to soften them up a little bit, but then I'm going to focus fire on the auxiliary Syrian archers instead. So the plan here is basically to take out the skirmishers, to take out the cavalry, and then to assert skirmish dominance, in that I can just kite and get nice shots in. But there's just so many units on the Roman side, so I'm going to have to engage as well and do as much damage as I can possibly do in melee. So Syrian archers dropping slightly. Nothing much going on, just extended skirmishing. And this battle is a pretty good example of why rushing is more popular than having extended skirmishers in a way. And you'll see why as this battle progresses. So he's going to charge here, and I'm going to countercharge. I am a bit late with this move, but I'm going to try countercharge him to stop his Pila. Nope, too late. I just knocked down my own guys. But yeah, I managed at least to charge the Hastati and then follow up, which should do a lot of damage. So this charge was a lot better than the other ones. He's going to destroy the Hastati really quickly. I didn't really lose a lot of cavalry here. Let's see if they got any kills by doing that. Yeah, they actually did. So yeah, the center unit did the best. Then I was able to charge in and disorganize his Hastati and rush in. So I did knock down a lot of my own men, but it also enabled my men to destroy his Hastati very, very quickly indeed. They would not have destroyed them this quickly if the cavalry hadn't done a number on them. But the Evocati are just firing their javelins, doing a lot of friendly fire. We'll see how much afterwards. But my Scutari are getting torn to pieces by these volleys of Pila, so very dangerous when Rome does this. And it's hard to stop. So now my very depleted units are charging into the Evocati, and they're going to die pretty spectacularly. Here the noble fighters are up against Evocati. They are going to destroy them. I'm getting a rear charge here with this legionary cavalry. I'm bringing in my Scutari spearmen for support. I'm firing at his general, forcing him away, so he isn't able to inspire his men over there. But these engagements, I am outmatched in swords by quite a significant degree. My painted warriors are dying, but maybe they made the Hastati break a bit earlier, but there aren't many painted warriors left here. Let's have a look at the kills. 107 kills, so very nice, a lot of kills in a short amount of time. The Skutari also did well, but those are mainly kills on the Hastati. The noble fighters that are up against Evocati are going to destroy the Evocati. Over here we're getting some legionary cavalry and Skutari spearmen going up against auxiliary infantry. Should be fine if I'm able to withdraw my cavalry, and I am. I'm really going to have to use my cavalry to good effect here. As you can see, I'm being ground down by the heavy Roman infantry. They did well on the charge, they took down the Hastati, but now things are not looking good at all. So I'm going to have to use my cavalry to charge the Evocati while they are following me. My general is a lost cause. I need to take care of his cavalry, and if I can take care of his cavalry so my skirmishers are safe, then this might just work. So I'm going to pop my general's ability because he is a dead man at this point. He just managed to take care of this unit of Evocati, but here you kind of see how the problem with Rome on when they are using Hastati as speed bumps, because it's going to take some time to grind through them, and then when you get the elite troops, your guys are going to have taken quite a lot of damage and they're going to be less effective. Now my guys aren't tired yet, so that helps, but that's also a factor in that the guys can get tired. So my Skutari are doing okay against Evocati until they are rear charged by the supported armored legionaries. So this is not looking too good for Aravaci here. The infantry just disintegrated. Rome went for more infantry power, and Rome was able to neutralize my skirmishing to quite a significant degree by that one cavalry unit sacrificing itself. But this Evocati cohort is being charged, so it is able to follow me effectively, which means I'll be able to kite down off the hill, because I need to... The thing I'm most worried about is this legionary cavalry getting a good charge on my skirmishers and my Iberian swords. That could be the end of the game. So I managed to break the auxiliary infantry by rear charging it. Need to pull out really quickly, and to help me with that I'll charge the Celtiberian cavalry into the rear of this Evocati cohort. Using cavalry is going to be so massively important now. I don't like this unit running around. The general's bodyguard, not that worried about, but quite worried about the legionary cavalry there. And Rome still has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, still 5 decent sword units left. This unit of Hastati is so depleted that I'm not going to count it. But there are definitely some dangerous swords left, while I have my skirmishers mainly intact. Then I have my 3 Iberian swords, and I have an almost full unit of Celtiberian cavalry, together with these units of depleted Celtiberian cavalry. And here I kind of get caught by legionary cavalry charging downhill, so that's going to go pretty badly for my Celtiberians. It's going to do some damage to his legionary cavalry, but I'm just going to pull away because that was not a good engagement for me. I'm going to pop Frenzy Charge and then try to get an attack order here, but it's not really working. I just got caught coming off the hill. But if I can get these Skutari spearmen into the mix, it might be worth it just to take down some legionary cavalry. Over here I lost my cavalry, mostly some Celtiberian cavalry left there. But on the other side of the hill I have spears and slingshots waiting for the Romans to come. So legionary cavalry lost some men, not a huge amount though. I'm going to charge them at some point with this unit of Celtiberian cavalry in order to try to stop them a bit more. And this map is horribly boring to look at. If you find yourself bored as I am by looking at the boring grass, just look at the horizon, it's a lot more interesting. So now it's going to be a matter of being able to skirmish these Romans to death, and I'll just fast forward here. Charging in, trying to do some more damage to the legionary cavalry. I'm going to try to get my Celtiberian cavalry into the fight as well. Actually this very depleted unit is going to be able to do a bit of damage here. So I'm going to push up all of my units. This unit is going to go bye-bye, but not after killing at least some more legionary cavalry. I'm going to swing these guys around and go for the Roman cavalry, so that the Roman infantry has to plod after me here. And another reason why I withdrew the way I did was because it would allow my men to rest. And now his guys are tired, and that's going to make them slower, so it's going to be even harder for the Roman infantry to catch up to me here. So finally I get the charge, and I should be able to defeat the legionary cavalry on the charge. Fire a few volleys at the auxiliary Syrian archers, but they didn't break, unfortunately. So they're going to get some shots in at my Iberian swords, and they're going to die even to these few men. His legionary cavalry is going down, and this gives me a nice opportunity to go for his general as well. So the Roman general is biting the dust at a very important moment. Now there is no Roman cavalry left on the field, which means that I'll be able to kite, and I have plenty of missiles left that I can use to kill Roman legionaries, so it's not like a desperate trying to force a draw kite, because I'm pretty certain that I'll be able to win this battle now. I have a cavalry unit remaining with 50 men left, and by engaging with my Iberian swords and then rear charging, I should be able to break a lot of these units, because they are so depleted. Like these two Evocati units being charged by even Iberian swords and then being rear charged should be enough to break them. I'm a bit more worried by the armored legionaries, but they are very tired, and if they continue to follow me now, their morale and their melee capabilities are going to drop pretty significantly. So my Celtiberian cavalry is doing a lot of good work here, destroying another unit of Hastati. And now I'm just going to use all of my remaining missiles on these units. The Evocati unit is quickly becoming a non-factor in the battle. I could have moved around and went for side shots, but as you can see on the timer, I really don't have the time to do it, and that's one of the reasons why these nice long battles are kind of hard to get in quick battles, because the time limit of 20 minutes doesn't really allow for extended skirmishing and maneuvering. So charging in here, not getting the best charge on this auxiliary infantry, so I'm just going to pull away. Didn't really kill anything. I don't think. I'm not sure if they managed to brace or not, because they did. It looked like they braced, but they shouldn't have had the time to brace in the short amount of time that they had available. Evocati chasing after my Scutari spears. It's going to exhaust them. I'm just tired, so they shouldn't be able to catch me. And armored legionaries taking a lot of fire from both javelins, and I've saved my javelins for just this occasion, so I can pepper the Romans while they are running after me and becoming more and more tired. And when they are, preferably when they are very tired or exhausted, I can start charging them. But looking at the timer again, I'm not really sure if I have the time to do this, as I want to finish it, because there's not a lot of time left, and these units are very strong. This unit is even fresh, so might not have the time available to do it here. This Evocati is exhausted, so my Scutari spearmen are going to do okay against Evocati. They aren't going to do extremely well, but they're at least going to, in shield wall, they're going to be able to hold off this Evocati and even kill some. So cavalry charges here, and javelins in the rear should be enough to make these guys run. Same here, this Evocati is being charged by Iberian swords, and the Iberian swords are winning because there's just so many more Iberian swords here. So now he's charging after me, he's disorganized, and this is going to allow me to get some really nice charges in on his guys. I just need to be careful that I don't get charged too much myself. Get my counter charges in. This unit has stopped. This unit is charging my Iberian swords, so I'm going to be able to get a double rear charge on this unit. But the unit kind of went through without doing much damage, so that was a pretty weird thing that happened. And now they're just going to ride back in and not really do a lot of damage, so that was pretty bad. I'm losing a lot of men here, and I didn't even kill anyone on the charge, so that was a pretty weird thing that happened. And I've seen that happen sometimes, that a cavalry unit will just charge through a unit without doing any damage. So I don't quite know what that's about, but at least my Iberian swords are doing some nice killing here. They are sandwiching this Evocati cohort, and it's going down quickly because it's exhausted. My cavalry didn't break, luckily, so I'm going to be able to get a rear charge here, and these guys, it's just in the nick of time because these guys are exhausted and they are losing. So I'm going to use my frenzy charge, bam, into the back of the Evocati, and that should start wavering now. And broke a unit of Evocati cohort, rear charge on his auxiliary infantry. That should break the auxiliary infantry fairly well. I am going to lose this unit of Iberian swordsmen most likely, but the other unit is going to stay, the auxiliary infantry is going to break, and this is going to allow me to pour in and attack these guys in the rear. And this is the last Roman unit that I need to kill, because if I kill this unit, these armored legionaries are just going to rout off the field. So this unit is wavering, and it is shattered, but I just got to draw the second the Roman unit shattered. So I'll mark that one down as a win, although the leaderboard certainly won't. But there you have it. Extended skirmishing and kiting can lead to some pretty long, interesting and intense battles, but with the quick battles limit of 20 minutes, it's going to be able to do it. It's going to be hard to do it effectively. So in this battle, just as I got the draw screen, the enemy unit shattered. So there you have it. That was a draw, and that is one of the weird things about how Total War Rome 2 works. Like, you can actually shatter the last remaining enemy unit, but if the battle timer runs out, then it's a draw. Sorry. So I think that was a pretty convincing win for Aravaci if the battle had gone on longer. As you can see, all of these skirmishers left, and mercenary Iberian swords left, the complete unit of Scutari spears left, and this was the unit that shattered. All of the other Roman units were off the field. So let's have a look at the performance of these units. The painted warriors did okay, but mostly against Hastati. These guys did well, again, mostly against Hastati. So the Scutari aren't really able to stand up to Roman infantry, getting a nice amount of kills here. These are all on my mid-tier units. The Hastati didn't do very well at all, but they did their job in dying. His skirmishers did better than they should have against my Balearic slingers, but that was mainly because he used his legionary cavalry well in pushing back my slingers and robbing them of very important time to fire. Noble fighters are not going to do great when they are countercharged by two of these mid-tier melee beasts that the Romans have. So very nice battle. Thanks for that one. How do I pronounce this? Rigebon? Maybe it's Rigebon? Maybe it's French, I don't know. Ridgebold. So anyway, the Aravaci not the best faction against Rome, but they can be used to some effect. If my opponent had shock cavalry here, this could have been a much shorter battle and a much more brutal one. But anyway, thanks for watching, and if you have any opinions about how I commented on this battle, or not having the unit stats up and the minimap up and such, if you prefer one or the other, just let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to respond. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.